about 12, he took me to work. And he said, well, I'm going to go by the mall and trade in some cars because I need me a couple extra dollars for gas. And I said, okay. And that's what happened when he left. He said, see you later, Mama. And that was it.
It's a day Leomi Blocker will never forget. Her son Leon Ellison's birthday, the last day she saw him.
On the way to the hospital, they said, well, I don't think we're going to make it. Let's pull over on the side of the road. And then I said, no, this ain't going to happen on the side of the road. So we got to the hospital in the emergency room, and there come Leon.
Lonzie and Leomi Ellison welcomed their youngest child on March 29, 1977. With Leon, they became a family of 6 in Toms River, New Jersey. Sister Betty Ellison says she was elated. She had a new playmate.
Hit and run, and I got you one of those kind of games. I don't even remember what it was called back then. And then you still later on that day, you still remember, oh, I owe you a tap.
Despite being a bit older, Betty describes her brother as having a big heart, always supportive and very proud of her. She recalls growing up as Jehovah's Witnesses and being homebound with a small circle.
So like we didn't, go outside and play and run the streets and all that stuff. Everything was structured and, when we usually were with our parents and we would go over to family friends' house, play with their kids while the parents were there.
That tight-knit East Coast family grew up and relocated in 1990. Mom, Dad, and the 2 younger sons settled into their Oakview Place home in the Hephzibah area of Augusta, Georgia. Betty, who had become a mom herself by then, stayed behind along with her sister. Now a teenager, Leon had to adapt to new surroundings.
In New Jersey, he respected people, but he didn't have to say yes, ma'am, and no, ma'am. He said yes and no, but he could say yes, ma'am, and no, ma'am. It was the demand here, you better say yes, ma'am, and no, ma'am.
We also spoke with Coach Bernard Bowman. He says Leon Ellison was a student in his physical science class at Glen Hills High School. He described him as mild-mannered and quiet, not a troublemaker. To Bowman, Leon was a normal kid at the time who would affectionately greet him as Coach. So on Tuesday, March 29, 1994, Leon was being a normal kid, one who simply wanted the family car so he could trade his baseball cards for cash at Regency Mall and head to a job interview at Applebee's on Wrightsboro Road. Reluctantly, his mom agreed.
Because me and my husband had separated at that point. I said, the way things are going, you're going to have to get a little job in order to help pay your part of the insurance. And he said, well, okay.
So on his 17th birthday, Blocker says her son dropped her off at work, the former Kmart store on Gordon Highway. She says he was expected to return just before the store closed to pick her back up, and he never returned.
He would come in around 8:30, Kmart closed at 9:30. And then, but it was so busy until I didn't realize, and then all of a sudden I'm looking around. I said, Leon not coming in here trying to get me to buy him anything, because it's always like he would find a little this and a little that and bring it up and lay it on the counter.
A co-worker eventually gave her a ride home, and Blocker just assumed he was spending his birthday evening with his brother. But still, something wasn't right. She called the police.
If he wanted to do something, all he had to do was ask me, especially when it comes to spending the night with his brother and his friends. All he had to do was just bring me the car, going back with them, No
matter what he was doing or what he would do, he's not going to be late picking up my mom.
A Richmond County Sheriff's Office investigator took the missing person report listing Leon as 5'9", 130 pounds with short black hair and brown eyes. They were also on the lookout for the maroon 1986 Oldsmobile Delta 88 he was driving. And although she knew her son was gone the moment he didn't pick her up for work, that thought was confirmed when police found the car parked at Regency Mall a few days later.
The odd thing about that was it was parked in the spot where we always parked the car.
Where's that?
Right out in front on the Gordon Highway, right outside of Montgomery Ward.
Inside the car, no identification. Blocker says the insurance cards and the registration in her husband Lonzie Ellison's name were missing.
Certain spots on the car they had burned, like acid burns.
A few days after locating the car, something strange happened. A couple who lived off Peach Orchard Road near a golf club made a discovery.
Then, out there by the golf course, so what happened was their dog brought one of Leon's shoes to the house.
That dog led police straight to remains later identified through dental records as Leon Ellison. and the coroner told her a longer wait would have been worse.
Many more days, and they wouldn't have found him at all.
So he had already began to decompose?
Yes, yeah, and animals.
Did you find out how he officially died?
Yes.
How?
A gunshot to the back of the head.
You know, this why I'm just so dumbfounded of this whole murder. I just don't understand it, you know. Everybody was shocked, you know.
The family remains confused. The family car was not stolen. Leon's mother says her son's wallet and jewelry were with his body. Blocker says the investigator at the time, Kenneth Booth, worked hard and interviewed everyone who had come in contact with her son. She says one woman went to the Richmond County Sheriff's Office with information about the murder, but didn't follow through and share that information with authorities. Blocker says ahead of her son's murder, she also learned shocking news.
That Leon was very upset enough to the point that he went and talked to this person about what was going on with him. And that's not like Leon. You know, he don't get that upset that he gotta discuss things with somebody.
Blocker says she does not know what troubled her son, but she can only assume it may have pertained to his father. The couple had separated at the time. While rumors and even thoughts about what could have happened stayed with the family, they just want justice for the life he never got to live.
He said he was going to move back to New Jersey, set up him a trucking company, because he had some money in trust.
Blocker says after her son's death, the $23,000 trust was shared among the family. Leon's sister says it was a career that could have been a game changer.
He would have did good. And then who knows where I would have been by now. Maybe I would have been involved in the trucking company.